good sportsmanship by the players, coaches, event staff, and spectators at all times. Anyone using derogatory, profanity, racist, or sexist comments aimed at the players, officials, coaches, and event staff, or any other spectators, that is totally unacceptable, and violators will be removed from the stadium. Also, alcohol and tobacco use is strictly prohibited. Fans, please do not enter onto the playing surface during or at the conclusion of tonight's game. We want to ensure the safety of both teams, event staff, and spectators at all times. Then, for your safety and the safety of those around you, we ask you to please observe all COVID protocols by wearing your face mask at all times and by social distancing at least 6 feet. Remember, together, we can beat COVID.
Good afternoon and welcome to beautiful Conley Field here at Mount Pleasant High School. You are listening to SFBN RI for the season opener between the Cranston West Falcons and Central Knights. I'm Bryce Antoch here alongside with Andrew Granier. Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Football's back. I'm loving it.
I know you'd think we were in Texas with the spring football that goes all year round, but due to COVID, obviously we have the spring season, a much shortened and condensed version to what we're used to, but nonetheless, we are here, we are back, and we're ready and back and better than ever. So we got a couple players to the game. I know for Cranston West, you wanted to take the hot route and go with your player of the game. Who do you have?
We got Brennan Stetson. He's going to be the player of the game for Cranston West. Now, he's been a 3-year starter for the Falcons at running back. He is just a phenomenal athlete. He can play almost every position, and he's a special player. I mean, you're looking for him every year to be the Gatorade Player of the Year, and, you know, he is just a crazy athlete, and he's going to be the Falcons have success on offense. He's going to be the reason why.
So how are the Knights going to be able to stop him on defense if they're going to walk away with a win at their home turf?
Well, you got to control the line of scrimmage. That's the number one. You got to try to get him to bounce outside and get your linebackers, your corners, safeties, get him to the ball, tackle behind the line of scrimmage. But the thing with Stetson is he's so quick. He has these quick cuts, and he can make anybody miss. I mean, he is a player who gets about 1,000 yards a game. I mean, 1,000 yards a season almost. And he's a special player.
Without question. And for the Knights, we have Renato Mckay, an unbelievable athlete on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. He has been born and raised in the south side of Providence. I mean, he played his youth football with the West Elmwood Intruders and started varsity as a sophomore and had 1,800 all-purpose yards last season. Unbelievable, this kid. And he's interested in going to school for an education major, still undecided on that college decision. Obviously, he's got time. You know me, a junior in college now. You are at your first year at CCRI. You've got time even after you make a decision. You can always change. And to any of these kids, these high school level student athletes at this rate, to wherever they decide, there's always time to do whatever you want.
Well, I think we're getting ready for kickoff here.
Unbelievable ride it has been. It feels like a 10-year absence since we've seen some real high school football, but we are underway in moments off of the leg of Madison Alves, second-year kicker, I believe, for Cranston West. Unbelievable she has been. Even appeared on the SportsCenter Top 10, and the kick goes to the far right side, picked up by the Central Knights as he takes it all the way along the other side, picking up a few tackles, but then brought down at the 24-yard line to start things off for the Knights. I'm expecting to see a couple nerves here, you know, both sides of the ball. It's been so long since you've had this action, and what is your key for this first drive for the Knights on offense to try and get things going?
Well, the Knights are looking back at last year's film, and Cranston West has lost a lot of players. Their whole senior class last year, almost all their starters on defense. So it's a brand-new defense out for the West. So you know what? If I were them, I would just attack them. I wouldn't do anything special. You know, run your base offense. Central always has speed. Get to the edges, and you know what? Maybe throw the ball around a little bit early. See, test this new West defense.
And at the helm at quarterback, it is going to be Felix Rodriguez, number 2, the junior. And he has been, we were watching in warm-ups, he has been unbelievable, doing his thing, trying to get rid of this 2-loss streak against the West as they play the read option. tackle looks like about 5 yards ahead, but rather it's going to be Renato Mckay at quarterback on the first play. And we have a flag on the first play of the game. I'll have to see what they call.
I believe it's a false start on Central.
And that's what you don't want to do, especially in this high school setting when it sometimes is so difficult to pick up big yard plays. You don't want to set yourself back early.
No, as a coach, you definitely want to get your team running out of the gates right there, and that's going to back them up. That doesn't set a good tone for your offense going in early. So, hey, the Falcons made a pretty good tackle on the first play. Like I said, Central's got speed.
And right there's a nerve starting off that we just talked about. We'll see how they change it up here. Maybe change just the snap count for the Knights, as they do not want to let that happen again, because sooner or later one penalty is all it takes to set off this drive. As Mckay, with a running back on each side, 3 wide out split, takes the read option, but gets picked up by 3, 4, and 5 defenders for West for a gain of maybe just about 2.
You know what? When you're playing defense and they run that stuff with the quarterback option, the ends did a tremendous job there. They stayed in their lanes. They didn't rush too far up the field. They played great defense there. And you know what happens when you make first contact? You want your safety, your corners, all your linebackers there to make the tackle. The Falcons swarmed there, made a heck of a play.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a 2nd and long here for the Knights, looking at about a 2nd down and 11. Going to try and get this first down. We'll see what they're going to be able to do. They might have to shake something up, maybe hand it off once, use a little bit of read option, or maybe even trying to throw the ball out. Give them a little bit of space. As you can look and see, everybody's clustered up.
Right now, yeah, they're in a tight set here. Wishbone.
Handing it off out wide. It is going to be Emmanuel picking up almost getting to the first down, picking up about 8 to 9 yards, giving them a great chance on 3rd down. It's just what they needed to get out of that false start hole.
Believe it's going to be about a yard, maybe a half a yard to go here. Hey, you know what? They went with a little bit of misdirection there. They went running back, going to the right side now when the wishbone set. So Falcons, they had a couple of chances at him. They just didn't make the great tackle there. So
yeah, it was great blocking by the Knights. Seeing how many defenders were inside the box, they knew they had to stretch the field out wide, and they did exactly that. We'll see what they have drawn up on this 3rd and inches, it appears, from up here. It is going to be at quarterback right now for this play. It's going to be Demir Laziter for the Knights, under center, with 2 running backs behind him. Hands it out wide to Renato Mckay, who's all the way out wide. Nobody's stopping him at the 40, the 30, the 20. Nobody's going to catch him all the way down for a Knights touchdown. And what a way for them to kick off this season in the new uniform, on the new turf. Excellent play design, some misdirection, a lot of confusion on that West defense, it looked like. Andrew, what did you see?
Well, what they did was they went in offset I formation there. They were looking like they were going to go power, run down the middle, try to just pick up the first down. And, you know, like we said before, the player of the game for Central, Mckay, he bounced it outside left, and he has speed. What did I say before the game? Central is going to use their speed to win the game. That's their bread and butter. They did it right there. You know, West just didn't play great defense there, and we're off to a 6-0 start here.
As the kick is up and good for the Knights, moving the lead up 7 to nothing, and it's the exact start that we would want to see if you're looking to get a win from that Knights sideline. Now West is going to have some things to figure out, since that was 5 straight running plays on that with a false start, setting back a 1st and 15. So you're going to have to figure out what you want to do, but it's all up to this West offense now to try and at least get something going and get a little bit more momentum back on your side.
Well, you know, I expected West, like I said before, they're a very young defense. They got a lot of sophomores actually stepping up for them this year, playing both sides of the ball. We expect them to, you know, be a little chippy. We don't, you know exactly what they got there, and we expected the Knights, who I believe have a little more seniority on their team, to, you know, step up. And Mckay, you want to win just for the Falcons, same thing. Mckay and Stetson. If any team's going to win, they're going to need to use their playmakers, and Central started off with a bang right there, using Mckay for, I believe, what was maybe a 70-yard touchdown, maybe a 60-yarder.
And we don't want to forget to credit Maura Curte, the kicker, on that extra point for the Knights. But the place kicker now for this kickoff is going to be Jordy Fernandez. He's also looking like the punter we were looking at pregame. So a couple different options, looking to see who's got the bigger leg on a kickoff. And it clearly, right now, is Jordy Fernandez, as Curte has the accuracy.
Yeah, he can boot it.
Both teams ready to go on the set. A squib kick up the middle, still bouncing around, picked up by the Falcons. Got a little bit of a lane, picks up 5-10 yards, and tackled down is going to be Marcus Chung, the sophomore. As you mentioned, this team full of them for pretty good field position for this West team.
Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with the Falcons today. Their starting quarterback, number 11, Chris DeGatis, is out. He didn't get cleared to play for this game. So you're going to have a starting sophomore in his first varsity game, Matt DeFusco. You know, I expect them to use Stetson a lot to take a little bit of the pressure off of Matt in this game. So we're going to see what happens here.
And as you mentioned, it is DeFusco under center. One running back on his right. Couple wideouts as well. Hands it off straight away, but tackled immediately at the line of scrimmage is the Falcons. And, you know, just to get those nerves out, especially for such a young team, a couple plays, even if you don't get much on it, means more than getting 3 or 4 yards sometimes. Just to know that, you know, you don't miss those simple things. You don't drop the ball. You don't fumble it on one of those first couple opportunities.
Right, and here they go in a little bit of this is what we called scramble. I was talking to the coaches earlier this week. This is a play they implemented this week.
And they've got a 5-wide set. Number 1 moving out the way, immediately snapped and then tackled behind the line of scrimmage. The Falcons, Brennan Stetson, as you mentioned, the man who's going to get the ball, just trying to be a little tricky, especially in the first game. You haven't seen any film on these teams. You don't know what they're going to run, but we'll see if this opens up any passing lanes. We know how sometimes difficult it can be to pass in football. We're going to have to see what's dialed up here on the offensive side of the ball. We have the West coordinator sitting just about 10 rows in front of us trying to figure out game plan from their side. So, once again, it is DeFusco under center, or rather in the shotgun. Yeah,
right
I was going to say, hold on a minute. They've got DeFusco out wide, the direct snap, looking to get something, but the speed of the Knights is picked up as a great tackle made behind the line of scrimmage for a quick 3 and out, bringing it to 4th and long. We're going to have to see the punt team here for, especially being in your own territory, about a 4th and 15 or 4th and 13 they're looking at from their own 39.5-yard line.
This is going to be the thing for West. West is going to try to see what Central is going to give them offensively. They went out, which I didn't expect them to go in that scramble play early. Central, they stopped it well. And you know what? If I was West coordinator, I don't think I'm going back to that play soon.
As the punt is back right over the shoulder of Renato, as the Falcons will just let it roll all the way down to the 26. It was a great punt to keep it out of the hands of the most dangerous player on the field at the moment. You don't want to let him get the ball, and the West is going to have to do a great job spying him. How are they going to be able to try, or what are they going to have to do, rather, to try and slow him down? Because we know he's inevitable. We talked about it, 1,800 all-purpose yards last year, and as of this rate, it looks like he's on his pace to get 1,000 of those back.
Well, what you need to do defensively against a guy like that, and especially playing quarterback, where, I mean, I think almost all the time he's going to be running the ball as quarterback. He's such an athlete. Your defensive ends, they're going to have to set an edge and have him cut back inside, and you need your linebackers to fill and make a tackle. West needs to wrap up. They definitely need to have some better tackling. They started early pretty well tackling. Slipped up a couple times on that big second down play to bring up 3rd and short, and then the touchdown play.
As the Knights will take a time out here, but I just want to take this moment. Judah Farley, a running back junior from the Knights, is also hurt and not playing. So that is one more weapon that the Knights do not have tonight. We know how dangerous they are, especially in the backfield. This team is full of studs, and it seems like anywhere you go, any one of the 3 that we've seen in the backfield with the ball, the 3-headed monster behind there, has been lethal.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, anytime you lose a guy in high school football, it's drastic because you don't have an overwhelming number of players sometimes, and pretty much it's just next guy up. Really, that's all it is. We have both sides of the ball. They're going to have backups in place, and you got to step up and make a play. And I think Central, their game plan was obviously with number 7 being out today. It's probably going to give the ball to Mckay a lot. And, I mean, until they stop it, they're going to keep running it with him.
Without question, and you definitely do not want to never hand him the ball because he is so dangerous. But we have action picking back up 1st and 10 for the Knights after a very successful first drive that began in a false start. I'm sure they had a stern talking to right after that. Maybe even in this timeout it was discussed. As we see a motion handed off all the way around on the end around, it is going to be Renato who's picking up a few yards across the 30 to almost the 35 for about 6 to 7 yards.
Good tackle on that play. He had that wide open side on the left. I thought that play could have went for another touchdown. Good tackle by the Falcons there.
I agree with you. I thought the same thing at first. Almost looked like they really fooled them on that misdirection. Great job by Felix Rodriguez under center to kind of give a little head nod and sell that fake. It is 2nd down and 2 for the Knights. Still in their own territory, looking at about the 34-yard line. Handed off once again out wide. It's going to be Emmanuel K, who gets the edge, picks up the 1st down and then some, as it looks like almost a horse collar tackle from number 3 as he stares down the west sideline. As you see him fixing it now as he runs back into the huddle, a couple teammates rallying over to help him. Explosiveness all over this field for this team.
It's the edges. That's what it's going to be. You're hardly going to see Central run up the middle. And that's not because they can't do it. It's because, their strengths are outside. They got fast guys, and they're going to use the edges of the field to their advantage. West is, again, throughout the whole game, they're a young defense. So this is going to be a huge test for them against a really, really fast offense.
Without question, and we've got the 1st down and 10 from their 44. The Knights right in front of us is going to be a handoff, this time to Jeremy Padilla, who picks up about 1. Good tackling by the West defense. It's something that's going to have to be consistent. You can't be consistent on one play. We know that Jeremy may not have the speed as much as we see them running more downhill, stacking the line of scrimmage to try and give him a hole. But it wasn't there this time for them, and they're going to have to, the West Falcons are going to have to keep trying to close the gaps and play the edge as well. It's going to be a big part for these defensive backs to keep an eye on the backfield as much as the wide receivers out there.
Well, I think right now you see 22. He's going to be their power guy. They need, goal line situation. They need a couple yards here and there. 22, I think, is going to be their power guy getting the ball.
Rodriguez in the shotgun, motioned is Emmanuel.
As
a fumble, as he just jumps on it is Rodriguez, and that is the break you need for the West defense to try and get off of the field. It's going to be 3rd and seeming impossible, but we have seen a huge breakout run. This is more of a contain. I wouldn't be surprised to see West maybe take a couple steps back here and just try and force somebody out to the edge.
Yeah, I also wouldn't be surprised if Central maybe tries to throw it. I mean, we haven't seen them throw it this year yet, actually. I don't think they've thrown a pass yet. So maybe they'll surprise them with a pass here. I don't know. We'll see.
We are going to find out, as it is going to be, once again, Rodriguez under center. We have seen a lot of changes. Motioned again is Emmanuel K. The throw this time got him on the outside. And the butterfingers we see on Demir Lassiter. Looks like he almost had a touchdown again. A beautiful throw.
He had him beat.
Well placed by Rodriguez. You can't ask for much more. I think you and I both thought that was going to be a catch right in the bread basket, but unfortunately through his hands. But as a receiver, you just got to have a short memory. Don't even worry about it. You hate to see that from the Knight sideline. You had a beautifully drawn play. The speed was showcased right there.
I think the sun may have been a little bit of a factor there. The sun's shining that way, but regardless, no excuse. You got to come down with that catch, 1st down. That was the first pass of the game, and it was a pretty good pass, I got to say.
We're going to have to see what they do if they use that more. We know it's in Rodriguez's arsenal now, but the punt is coming and almost blocked by the West special teams as the ball rolls down inside the 20, now inside the 15 on a beautiful punt. Once again now by Jordy Fernandez. We knew he had a boot, but that thing looks like it carried 70 yards.
Hey, you know what? The thing about punting is, especially at this level, As long as you can get it at least 30 yards and you just want it to roll. It's all about the roll. If that roll can get 20, 30 yards more, there you go. It's a great punt. So you don't need to have the strongest leg in high school football. It's all about the roll. And that sets them back. You know, they completely switch field position here. So good job by the punter for the Knights there.
As the West offense gets it back on the field. Had much better starting field position this time. Going to be a tall task to try and go 85, 90 yards on this drive. We're going to have to see if DeFusco can get a couple great plays to get him out of this jam. As the handoff goes on the right side, picking up about 3 to 4 yards to try and give him a nice second and manageable. Opens the playbook up a little bit, hopefully, as we're going to have to West try and use their speed. We know how amazing this offense is, but some of these guys are multi-dimensional. As we talked about, the player of the game for Central is Renato Mckay, and you can see him right there, number 8, standing at about the 25-yard line. He is a quick guy, and he's not going to let you get anything too much over the top just from how quick he is.
Well, he's playing safety, and he's really creeping up.
Motioned and immediately wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage by Lizardo Arden.
I think number 1 for the Falcons, Marcus Chung. He is an outstanding player, also a sophomore coming up this year for the Falcons. He might be a factor for the Falcons. If they can get him on the edges, they tried with that jet sweep there, going to the left side. I believe that was number 1 for Central making that tackle. Just not great line play for the Falcons. They really need to stay with your blocks, and obviously that's what's going to happen if you don't.
As it is going to be DeFusco looking to make something on this 3rd and 10 opportunity, looking to throw the ball, fires one up, and it's going to be caught on the far sideline by Marcus Chung. Great throw. Looked like it almost had an opportunity to be picked off.
You know, unless you got last year quarterback, the last 2 years, NK, Josh Osmanski, unless you got him out there, almost all these balls are going to look like that. You know, every ball pretty much has got a chance for both sides, and that's the thing. It's all about the one-on-one matchup with the wide receiver and corner. Who's going to go up and make the play?
As we see that formation you talked about earlier, 6 wide, 3 linemen. Got to be a quick throw here, and it is to Marcus Chung, who just caught the last pass, gets an edge, picks up about 5 to 6 yards on the first down. As he is coming up big time in this drive to give that defense some much-needed rest. You did not want to see a 3 and out.
If they can use number 1 Chung, and they can use Stetson, and also Chung's older brother, Miles, number 44, he played a lot at running back last year for the Falcons too. They also have a 3-headed attack in their backfield. So number 1, Marcus Chung, look out for him. He's going to be a factor in this game. I guarantee it.
As we have a stoppage of play here. But it's going to be looking once again that 3 linemen set.
Well, what this is right here is basically to try to mess up the defense. You got some linemen lined up on the 40 all the way out wide. I mean, you know he's not going to be eligible. That's just how this type of play works. Sometimes it happens in the NFL. The Bears have used this play. If you guys, viewers out there, remember a couple of years back, Colts and Patriots, that was a punt formation there, and that didn't work out for the Colts in that game. It's similar formation. It's all misdirection, smoke and mirrors type action for an offense. Still don't understand what's going on the field with the refs here. Don't know what they're looking at.
As it seems like we're getting ready to come back in. Maybe a substitution issue as the ref blows the whistle.
I don't know. It's weird. Something maybe with the ball placement. I don't know. There was a long stoppage there.
As we are back and
West
ready to
wants
go.
a timeout here.
And now West does get the timeout that you just mentioned they wanted. But interesting drive. You know, sometimes this is very difficult for a team because you have such momentum, and then a big stoppage of play like this, it almost takes away from what you just had. It's going to be very difficult for West, in my opinion, to try and get a really good play. I mean, you are 2nd and 4. I mean, very manageable 2 downs.
I also think there's a possibility head coach Tom Maluski is on the field right now talking to the referees. That stoppage of play might have been because of the formation that they were using. It's a tricky formation, even on the refs. The refs have to do a lot of work, too, in this game with that formation, making sure it's a legal formation. Maybe Coach Rios for the Central Knights, maybe he was, getting in the air at the ref, asking if that was a legal play or not. So that could have also been what the stoppage was about back there for that time. Refs still discussing something, so that is a possibility.
You might be very much right. We see it a lot of times in the NFL. I remember the Patriots, or rather the Colts, had that very odd 3 personnel.
I was just talking about that. I don't know what they were doing then with the punt. That was a punt formation.
That was
snapped
tricky.
the ball. He wasn't supposed to snap the ball, and what happened there. But this happens a lot in the NFL where they got these tricky formations, and the Patriots are notorious for it. The Saints are notorious for it. The Bears, the Chiefs, a lot of those teams' creative offensive minds do these types of plays.
And West goes straight back into that 6 wide set, as it's going to be Miles Chung in the backfield with picked up with Stetson, rather.
Yeah, in this set, I think Stetson's going to be the quarterback in this set. The quarterback who's been playing the game, Matt DeFusco, he's going to line up wide here in this formation. So this is what I'm talking about. It's tricky. You got Stetson, who's a great athlete, just getting the direct snap. That could be deadly for him, not having to take a handoff anymore.
3rd and short, 3rd and 1. I feel like the West sideline believes in Stetson to be able to get 1 yard. The Knights pick it up quickly, but thrown out wide to Chung, who's been unbelievable. 3 catches for about 50 yards or so on this play. He has been the man to go back to, and that is what you absolutely wanted to see. West having frustration, especially with the referees getting back in the game, taking their time, and getting a good play call. What's so tricky about that is you throw it too quick to the point where the linebackers and the defensive linemen can't get to you, and then all of a sudden you've got numbers on both sides on the wing.
I think they were surprised to see Stetson toss the ball around over there. I mean, he's usually running with it.
He had a pretty good throw, and he's back here, throwing it again.
Another throw.
This time to the other side, but tackled for a gain after he got about 4 or 5. Stetson showing off the arm he's got.
He was in the mix, I heard, for quarterback going into the season. Last year, the Falcons losing Cam Alves last year, so I think he's going to be in the mix here. If I'm the Knights right here and they're doing this type of formation, obviously as a defensive coordinator for the Knights, you're going to have to, at halftime, if they keep on running this play, try to find out another way to stop it.
DeFusco once again all the way at the top of the set. The ball is going to be in the hands of Stetson again, who is about 5 yards deep in shotgun. Looking, takes it left immediately, tries to break a tackle, but wrapped up nicely by the Central Knights defense.
If I'm the Falcons here on offense, you got to look at when they spread this formation out. On the left side over here on the 40, they have number 57, Rory Perino. He's not going to be an eligible lineman. So for the Knights, they don't put a guy over to him. So what the Falcons did were they're using him as a lead blocker, and they have Chung on that side and also, I believe, Castriata, number 31 there. When you have 2 corners on that against 3 guys, and they run that, that slip screen, that wide receiver screen there, that leaves, 2 guys blocking 2 guys, and then you got no one to come tackle Chung. So that is going to be a huge mismatch for them if they can keep that play going there. If I was Central in this huddle right now, I'm talking about that play and how to stop it.
And that is going to be the question. How do you stop it? Little to be seen so far. I mean, you may have a couple ideas, but...
Well, if I were Central, I would definitely put a 3rd guy out there because you see what they do out of this formation right now. The Falcons have been running some quarterback keep with Stetson, and pretty much only running 2 plays out of it. Quarterback keep and a screen to the wide receiver. So I think at halftime this is going to come up, and if the Falcons keep on getting success with this play, we saw early on it didn't go too hot. You know, they did a good job of stopping it. Now Falcons slowly driving down the field here, and Falcons had the ball for a good chunk of that time in that first, the last couple minutes of that period, bringing us to the second period already.
I know a quick first quarter rather. As we're going to see West go straight back into it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, they say. Once again, with Stetson at quarterback, on his right is Miles Chung, the senior running back and linebacker. A lot of these players so multi-dimensional. As he takes a handoff, looks wide to the left side, caught by Chung, who's got some great hands in the last 5 to 7 minutes we've seen on this drive. They've had a very, very productive drive. They've gone right down. A lot of plays, eating up the clock, giving this defense, once again, the much-needed rest. As we know, there are some players on both sides of the ball, but some of those defensive linemen who are going to be needed, especially on the edge, getting this rest.
Yeah, Central here, I mean, they look like they're having a 4 or 5 front here. West looks like they're going back into a original formation here, not that trick play. They called it scramble. So we're going to see what happens here.
Now you've got DeFusco and you've got Stetson in the backfield. The dynamic duo of what you need. Hand it off to Stetson as he goes right for about 5 yards, trying to pick up that first down. And it looks like they are going to be, as I think they're going to have to measure, but it was 4th down and 3. But they're going to have to measure. They give it to the Knights, who get the stop. A long drive. You can't call it an unsuccessful drive, even though it didn't come away with points. You obviously love to go away with points, but I think at this point in the game, it was much needed for them to be able to get some momentum on that side of the ball.
Yeah, well, West needs a turnover here. They just had a really decent drive, driving down the field, didn't come up with points. We saw what Central can do offensively. They can score quickly. So, let's hope that the Falcons can put something together defensively, maybe to get a turnover. Who knows? Central, I think, they're not going to change their game plan. I think they're still going to just run the ball with number 8, Mckay. And this team is going to go as far as he goes. That's as simple as it gets.
And immediately for the Knights, it is going to be Lassiter handing it off the right side to Emmanuel, who picks up a good gain on first down, getting about 7 yards to a 2nd and 3. It's a nice play on first down. This team is so quick, we can't say it enough. As the Knights going back into their huddle, the West defense looking to the sideline as they try and figure out their set defensively. You don't want to get beat on the outside, but when you start playing the edges, it opens up a lot of holes in the middle.
No, it definitely does open up some holes in the middle. That's why I'm a little surprised Central isn't throwing it a little more. I mean, they've had that one play that should have been successful. Couldn't come down with the catch, but I think Central should try to throw it around a little more. I think West is giving them a lot of room to work with.
And I think Rodriguez is going to have that cannon loose eventually, as it is Lassiter on the right side. Tackled. It looks like he may have lost the ball for a second. As West looking to see if they picked it up, but it is going to stay for the Knights, as it is a loss of 2 on the play. 3rd and 4 for the Knights this time.
Good job by West knocking that ball out. That's the thing coaches preach. 11 guys to the ball. Are you always going to get 11 guys to the ball? Probably not. But you know what? That's the way they try to coach it. There weren't a ton of guys to the ball there. They may come up with their fumble recovery, but good job knocking the ball out there.
Demir Lassiter coming off with the sideline, looking like he got the play call. He has his man, Kai, in the backfield, handing it off to him immediately, taking out to the right side. He's got the lane if he hits it, and he definitely got it, and then some. And he has gone all the way out to the right side. It's Emmanuel Kai, as we just mentioned. But we do have a flag in the backfield, all the way at the 36-yard line. And sometimes those plays are made because of a holding. We're going to have to see if that is it.
Looks like Stetson's right now at midfield. It may have been a holding. Yeah, it looks like a holding.
I think they called it a illegal block in the back.
Was it a block in the back?
Block in the back.
Okay.
On the Knights. So negate that 60-yard play. 65-yard play on 3rd and 5. As we're going to see where they spot, I believe.
If the I believe that's going to be a 10-yard penalty.
But once again, these penalties we saw in the first drive, false start on the first play of the game. Now that did result in a touchdown at the end of that drive, but this is a backbreaker right there. You talked about getting a turnover. In essence, this is almost a turnover, a 10-yard penalty. As long as you can get this stop on 3rd and 15, 3rd and 14, then you've done your job on defense.
Well, we just saw in that play. Even though the block in the back that could have resulted in the play going that far, this team, they've had some big runs, regardless if they've been on penalties or even that touchdown by Mckay. So West really needs to tackle well here, because we've seen early, Central can get a 3rd and 14, 15 easily. Without
question, as they just ran for 65 yards, even though it was called back. They've had success so far with Lassiter at the quarterback, but it is going to be Rodriguez. We saw the cannon earlier, this time going against the wind a little bit as he drops back and looks out wide to Lassiter. A flag is thrown, but caught for a pickup
a false start,
of about 4.
It's an illegal shift on Central.
So back him up again. As you know, this part of the field, you obviously want to get something back. You want to get that first down, but you don't want to just throw a jump ball up, because you don't want to commit that turnover, as you mentioned earlier, which is how West can easily get back in this game. Sometimes a pick immediately goes back for 6, and you should be up maybe 14, but instead you're tied at 7.
I do expect actually Central to possibly throw the ball here. I think they're backed up almost 3rd and 20 almost here. So they might throw it, try to get some yardage, and then go for it on 4th down. We're going to see.
Rodriguez with Padilla on his right. Motioning is Kai. Looking to throw deep. He's got a man in the middle, but overthrew him. And it was the weapon that is Renato Mckay. Just threw him by about 3 or 4 yards. You were right on the play call, as Mckay has been such a threat all game.
Yeah, definitely. The Falcons, they stayed tight on their coverage there. He did not get beat. We saw that the first time they threw the ball. The corner got beat on the sideline. Central's wide receiver couldn't come down with the ball. This time, not the same. West stayed with them tight, and West is, it's not a turnover, but they're getting a punt here. Hopefully they can get possession of this, and maybe, I believe that's Marcus Chung receiving. Hopefully you can get him some yardage here.
The boot, this time, once again, for Jordy Fernandez. He had a great punt last time as Chung is back to return. The lefty hits a boomer out to the sideline, but doesn't keep it in bounds for the most part, so we're going to have to see where they mark it. Looks like they're going to put it at the 42.
I think West's game plan here is to try to really drain the clock out, make it a short game. We saw going into the second quarter that I think it was 5-6 minutes West had the ball, and they were just draining the clock here. So we'll see if they come out of that wacky formation again. I don't know.
Absolutely. And 8.5 minutes left in this first half. Saw some great things on this West drive last time. We'll see DeFusco, see if he's gotten some of these nerves out a little bit. I wonder, bring him to the sideline and letting DeFusco, or bring Stetson in there instead, maybe give him a little bit more confidence, get him talking from the coach, especially in his first start as a sophomore. As we see a motion by Chung in front. Handed off once again to Stetson, who picks up a nice gain of 5 on the first down.
Yeah, if I was West, you know what? If you feel comfortable with DeFusco at your quarterback, and you know what? I really think they do. I don't think they're putting him in a situation where he's going to fail, even though they don't have their starting quarterback, number 11, Chris DeGatis, who's actually on the sideline today. He wasn't clear to play. I think they have a lot of confidence in DeFusco, and we saw he actually completed a pretty deep pass earlier. I'd let him rip it.
Absolutely, and we're going to see what they do. He's got 2 wide receivers on his right, handing it off to Stetson on the right side. Got a nice hole, picks up 4 for a 3rd and 2 coming up for the Falcons.
This is looking more like Stetson now. He's getting a couple more yards. I think, Central is making their tackles, though. As much as West is getting, a couple, 3-4 yards here, I haven't seen Central have any missed tackles. They are wrapping up, which is going to be key against Stetson because he can make you miss.
And we have Chung and we have DeFusco, 2 sophomores, going to be lethal in a couple years when they get to their senior year. As DeFusco under center, motioning his favorite guy, Chung, across on the right side, handing it off to Stetson, who gets wrapped up but tries to get the couple yards for the first down. It looks like he's going to have a 4th and 1 coming up right across midfield. Both teams thinking that they've got the first, some thinking they've got the stop. As always, it's going to be 4th and 1 for the Falcons. Seems like they're going to go for it. They've got the confidence.
I believe they will. You know, West in this situation, they do have an I formation that they run out of for this short. Here we go, number 45 coming out there, big dude.
Heavy set for this team.
So number 45 coming out there.
Teddy Shackelford.
Yeah, I think he might be getting the ball. I'd be watching out for him. Yep, they're going heavy package. He's going actually out to tight end now. So we'll see.
Under center is DeFusco. 2 behind him. Hands it off. Trying to get the first down, but it looks like he's going to be stopped short once again. This defense standing tall for the Knights. As you can see, 33 for the Knights. Excited and ready to go. His second big stop.
Well, we're not sure. On our roster, we got 2 number 33s, actually. I don't know how that happened, but.
Either way, fantastic play by the Knights. Second time on that 4th down that they've been able to come up with something. And
yeah, I don't like that play call at all from West. I mean, it was a run, but I think they should have went to a fullback. I think they should have put another power guy, go right up the middle. It looked like they went left out towards, you know, the where the B gap would be. I think they should have went right up the center. Hey, hats off to Central. They covered it well.
They did a great job on defense, but now we have Renato Mckay at quarterback, taking it to the left side, trying to find a hole, and he gets to it, looking to pick up a block. He's got his man downfield, but then stopped about 20 yards later down the field at the 30-yard line from their own 49. It's a pickup of 21, and he has been unbelievable. Got to be nearing 100 rushing yards on the game for him now. We don't have the official stats, but he has been unbelievable, as it was a great block by the line. Some great misdirection on the right side. They really had a couple receivers out there, really gave him some open field. As we know, when he gets ahead of steam, he is very difficult to stop.
Well, I know we talked before about him getting 1,800 all-purpose yards. I'm not quite sure he's going to get that this spring 2 season, as they're calling it, or fall 2 season, because there are only 5 games. But you know what? I think he's going to come close to 800-900 yards if he keeps running it like it is now.
As once again, Renato getting the ball in his hands. A guy on each side handing it off to Kai, one of his favorite guys, picking up 3 or so yards on the right side between the tackles. Maybe looking to slow this clock down a little bit, or keep it moving rather, slow the pace of play, and try and get into halftime maybe after you just score. We know that they can run. We know what they can do on offense. It's just a matter of, can they put one in the back of the end zone before this first half expires?
Well, there's 5 minutes left. Clock's running. They're on, looks like the 26, 27-yard line here. So, I believe the stoppage. See what this is here.
As you see the referee pointing to number 55 on West, Anthony Ferry. Not sure if he did something or if maybe he pointed something out to him. But nonetheless, a stoppage of play, no flags out, so it is just a momentary stoppage.
Here we go.
As we are back, Renato looking around, checking his left side, sees that he's got Lassiter one-on-one. We see Emmanuel Kai on the right as he's just going to take it himself, and wrapped up quickly by this West defense. This was something that they needed to do, as we've seen them struggle to hold him throughout this first half.
Here's another situation where West on second down has been pretty strong. First down actually hasn't been their strong suit. They've had a lot of plays actually that bounce out on their first down. Second down, they've been really strong today, creating 3rd and longs here. Looks like a timeout on the field again, but you know what? I would expect possibly Central to pass again. they've been known to pass on these a little bit of a long. It's not too long, but they might try to catch West off guard again and go with a pass.
I believe the timeout was called by the Falcons. And I was actually about to mention, 4:13 left on this clock, 3rd down and long. Do you call a timeout and try and preserve some of this time? Because 40 seconds on the clock, you don't want to run this down under 2 minutes. 1-2 plays quickly gets it to 2, and you do not want that for a team that has been taking long drives down the field, especially if you get a stop here, knowing you've got to go 65, 75 yards.
Yeah, I think for Cranston West right now, I mean, it's all about winning this down right here. It's 3rd and long. You got to win this down right here to, regardless of the time here, it's 7-0. This game it's a game. This is no blowout. Even though Central has been playing really well on the edges and they've been doing a lot of yardage, this is still a 7-0 game. So I think for West, you try to, make this last play here. I think maybe they're coming up with something on defense here. And I wouldn't be so worried about getting back on offense here.
You do get the ball in the second half.
That's right.
So something to look forward to as we have 4:13 left. As it is Rodriguez back in the shotgun. We'll see if he runs it, see if he throws it. He's got a man over the middle. He's got him. Did he hit him? Wide open is Lassiter on the deep crossing, deep in route rather. Great route.
I expected him to throw it again, and look, that just cannot happen for West. You cannot have a guy go deep, especially in the middle of the field. That is just, you can't have that happen. Now it's a 14-0 game if they make this extra point here. And you know what, for West, you got to go into the half here. We still got 4 minutes left, but we'll see. I think they can, there's still plenty of time to get a touchdown here, so we're just going to wait and see.
And the kicker is Mora, kicking it once again, second time through. Mara Kurate for the Knights. As we're going to see the kickoff once again by number 72, Jordy Fernandez, who's had some nice boots. We saw last time he was out here kicking. He did a nice squib kick. The West had a little bit of issue with it, but they had a nice return.
Hey, a lot of people don't know. Back in the old days of football, there weren't no specialized kicker positions, all right? There were linemen who just kicked. So, seeing a big number 72 out there, people think, oh, that's awkward. Not really, not to football. They usually had big guys kicking. If you got a leg, I don't care what size or shape you are. You can kick, you can kick.
Absolutely, this is not soccer. We are kicking in football here. Sometimes that's all it takes. As long as you can get it down the field, they're going to put you out there.
Exactly. They're not, look, I'm guessing Central's not expecting him to run all the way down and make the tackle too. But
one thing at a time.
Hey, that's what Central's got those other 10 guys out there
Absolutely. For. One job and one job only. As he sets up here, with the left too, kind of throws you off a little bit. Don't see too many lefties out there, especially
kickers. You don't see a lot of lefty kickers.
Definitely not anymore as he gets ready. Got a nice boot on it, kicking it to about the 10-15 yard line. Picked up and ran back by the Falcons. Got a nice hole, getting across the 30 to the 35, and now dropped at the 39-yard line. So a good return.
That is a really good return from getting it from about the 13-yard line. That's about 25-yard return there. That's good. So West has only got to go 50 yards here. They got about 4 minutes to do it.
Absolutely doable. And almost like he outkicked the coverage a little bit. Almost kicked it too well that the team wasn't ready to get down there. Had a really nice run, had some good vision. So we'll see what West can come up with on this 4-minute drive opportunity to go into the half, maybe with some points, and try and double up when they come back out.
I expect West to go to their base offense here. Even though Stetson is at quarterback, I still expect them not to run that wacky formation right here.
Stetson, as you just mentioned, handing it off. This time, shaking a tackle is number 20, Dimitri LeBlanc, but it does get dropped about 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage for a 2nd and 8 as the clock begins to click.
I do like the play call there. They just couldn't get to the edge.
It's something different. Maybe makes a linebacker think next time. They're probably told to follow Stetson, follow DeFusco, wherever they go, but Sometimes all it takes is one little cheeky guy to get in there.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just didn't get to the edge. That could have been a good play, but we're going to see it. Like I said, I think they're going to run their base offense here. Nothing too special, just try to get points.
DeFusco on the sideline. Stetson at the helm, almost goes over his shoulder. Almost picked up in the backfield, tries to escape. He does, and then wrapped up at the 44-yard line for another pickup of 3 yards on a 3rd and 5 upcoming. You know, he turned nothing into something. See you kind of thinking that's not exactly what you draw, but there was some great pressure in the backfield, just some spotty job on the line.
Yeah,
but number 50, oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. It looked like he was almost surprised by getting the snap there. I don't know what happened there. It looked like he was surprised to get that. So
could have been the snap count was a little different for the quarterback and the center on that one, but nonetheless, no penalty called, no false start. The team does have an opportunity. Even if that wasn't the play you wanted, you still got a great chance. DeFusco is back in. Stetson on his right. Chung in motion. Rolling out to his right. A lot of players coming. Gets a throw off and caught by number 44, diving for the first down. Looks like he got it. The clock is coming. Miles Chung, this time showing off the hands instead of his brother Marcus, the senior, now getting in the action.
Yeah, I give credit to number 4, DeFusco there. That was a hell of a pass.
Absolutely.
That was a hell of a pass right there. Really doing a great job sidearming it. And, you know, the pass was good. Can't forget about the catch.
Little Phillip Rivers out there.
No, not that bad. No, he had a little sidearm, but great play by number 44.
Absolutely.
Miles.
And that's what you needed. Move the sticks. You got 2 minutes left to try and go down. You're at the 50-yard line. In a great rush up the middle. It's going to be Chung, who just had the catch on the first down, going all the way. Just what you needed if you're the Falcons. Miles Chung caps off a great drive with 1:52 left. 14-6 pending the extra point. And we just talked about it. Can you double up before halftime? But this is where you cannot begin to settle as you are going to come back on defense. We see it all the time in sports. A quick let-up, but that is just what you needed for the Falcons. Unreal.
That was a backbreaker for Central right there. Central had all the momentum, 14-0. You know what? Another type of play, a little bit. It wasn't misdirection, but that was Patriots used that play against the Falcons in the Super Bowl. It looks like the snap goes over the head, quarterback jump, direct snap to the fullback. And Miles played running back last year. He was lined up at fullback. He's got some speed. He took that all the way.
Madison Alves going to get the kick, but I believe there was a penalty. I believe it might have been offside on the defense. I thought I saw somebody jump on the Knights. They may call this back and have it re-kicked. I did see the left end for the Knights jump offside, it looked like, in the neutral zone.
They could go for it, too. The penalty moves the ball up. I wouldn't be shocked if they go for 2 here. You don't need it, but
he almost jumped all the way to Pawtucket.
Well, you know, that's what happens with a lot of the edge guys. They get in 4-point stances. They're ready to go. And, you know, sometimes they just jump a little too soon, and that can't happen, though, right? For Central, that changes it from a 14-7 game to a 14-6 game.
DeFusco struggled with the hold last time. We'll see if he gets it this time. Better snap, better hold, better kick.
It was good.
Perfect execution for West that time. Maybe he was just a little shook. Maybe he saw a guy jump and it just startled him. So that's what you need. Great job by the West team. As much as this is a one-possession score, we know how dangerous this team is for the Knights on the other side. You don't want to give them anything.
Well, you got 1 minute and 52 seconds left.
This kid's got an arm.
We're going to keep saying it the whole game with Central. They have speed. They have speed, they have speed, they have speed. When you kick the ball off, any one of those guys back there can return it for a touchdown. So you don't even need the 152. You just need 10 seconds.
Oh, absolutely. Any play can be a big play.
So this is crucial for West. You just scored a big touchdown there. You need to go into the half down by 7. Who knows what could happen in a minute 52. We see this all the time in the pros. Nothing different here in high school football.
And we absolutely love it. And looks like we're missing a kicker. She looks like she's coming back out there. Almost forgot that she just scored and had to go back out there, but Madison Alves, I'm sure she's having to have a good laugh about it afterwards.
Hey, you know what? She was warming up in practice, and she was booting him, so I'm not surprised she made that one. We've seen her made a couple of them in pregame.
35, it looked like she was good from.
She was hitting them from a, you know, she was actually on ESPN's
I know it.
top 10 of the week, actually,
this year, get a
this
good
year in the
boot.
summer.
Picked up and dropped by Kayi and tackled immediately, just what you wanted to see. Don't want to give him anything as the clock is stopped now at 1:48 at the 30-yard line.
Back to what I was saying about Madison Alves, she was on SportsCenter top 10 in the summer.
I remember you showed me that. Unreal.
It was a video on either Twitter or something, and it was her kicking a 50-yard field goal, just a practice field goal, but 50-yard field goal. That we don't even see some NFL guys hit 50-yard field goals. I mean,
unbelievable. And you know, I'll tell you, playing soccer, sometimes I don't even think I can kick a 50-yard field goal.
And she is a soccer player as well.
That is true.
She is a soccer player for West.
Here comes the dangerous Rodriguez. We see his arm. We know what it's like. Got 3 wideouts, split. As he looks to drop back and find one of them, he's got him up on the right side. It's going to be picked up by Renato Mckay for the first down after a pickup of 13. Great way to start the drive for the Knights. It's what you wanted to see. Taking only a few seconds off the clock.
You know what? They had guys out wide. Some guys are going deep. I give the quarterback credit there. The quarterback, you know, everybody just thinks the quarterback wants to go deep there. He went for the under route, got a good chunk of yardage.
It's a great point. And he was patient, too. He knew he knew the play call. He knew how it worked.
So
he waited for everything to open up.
Timeout, or we have a substitute. Something about number 78. The ref took him out of the game.
Yeah, it's going to be Kareem Jeffries Hazard, number 78, the tackle and lineman.
Now number 66 is coming in to replace him.
Looked hobbled a little bit. And replacing him is Rodolfo Montilla. Dropped back is Rodriguez, trying to escape some traffic, and he cannot, and dropped in the backfield. This West defense looked relentless on that, and I wonder if the switch up on the offensive line maybe caused a little bit of confusion. Sometimes these guys coming in, the snap count's a little different, not ready, hasn't been anticipated too much.
All I can say about this right now is it looks like the momentum's turning. Uncle Mo's turning around right now for the West.
Yeah.
West, they got a sack there. Clock is still running, but even if you go into the half down by 7, that is still a win for the Falcons. You go in, you still got 2 quarters to play.
Rodolfo head back on to the sideline as they're still checking out Kareem Jeffries Hazard. We hope he's okay. Looks like it may be an ankle issue. He took off the helmet, but it is quarterback under center as always. Rodriguez looking deep, firing one, and he's got him open. It is an unbelievable throw and catch outside at the 15-yard line, caught by Lassiter, who had that unbelievable catch earlier in the game, but this throw on a dot.
Yeah, it looked like he laced it there. It looks like he had a string on and just followed it all the way through to him. Looks like he stepped out at the 20, which even though for West, even though you gave up that big chunk yardage, there's still only 18 seconds left. This is not a clear thing for Central to get a touchdown here.
Oh.
They still got to go a couple, they still got to go
Unbelievable
a
throw. Unbelievable throw.
Yeah, definitely.
By
that was
Rodriguez.
His best throw of the game, for sure.
Seems like every single time he throws it, it's getting better. He takes it again, looks to the left side, doesn't see much, tries to find it. Looks, he's got him open in the end zone. Lassiter once again, 3 catches for about 140 yards. This West defense is getting torched by this guy. Great connection between the quarterback and the wide receiver.
Yeah, the back end for the Falcons, you can simply not have that happen. It's just inexcusable. If you guys are getting beat by those players, the wide receivers, we said speed, speed, speed. You back your corners up a little bit then. Give them some room to play with. For West, you just cannot have that happen there. A 20-yard touchdown pass. They're going to be down by 14 again if he can hit this field goal here. Let's see what happens.
Word of advice to both of those guys between Rodriguez and Lassiter. You definitely want to put those in your highlight reel after the season. As the kick is up and good through the uprights. 3 for 3 on the night is the kicker for the Knights, Mora Curte. And we're going to see another time, once again, for Jordy Fernandez to get another kickoff. And that is almost, you talked about backbreakers. I mean, I told you right after they scored, it might be a little worrying. Sometimes you just have one of those really bad let-ups, and it's exactly what happened.
It looked like momentum was turning around for the Falcons, and what happens? They give up 2 big pass plays like that. That's what happens when you're not on your A game. It's as a defensive coordinator, a defensive coach, that's just inexcusable for your corners to get beat like that. But when you're playing talent and speed as good as Central, sometimes it happens.
And they say, look good, play good. These new uniforms, these new Nike uniforms for Central.
Yeah, the old
I'm
yellow,
sure
a little
they're
different.
loving it.
A little different.
Gives you a little extra confidence, I'm sure. If you got a nice new pair of cleats, nice new pair of gloves or a uniform, you're definitely going out there, and sometimes you're going to play a little bit better than if you did the day before.
Yeah, you want to show off. New field, too.
Beautiful. As here comes the lefty, as we mentioned, Jordy Fernandez, kicking off, had a boot last time he was out here. Goes with the squib this time, picked up by West. Ran out across the 40 to the 42, reaching it out to try and get any extra yards with 7 seconds left. We'll see what West does here. Maybe try to get it.
I expect them to probably knee it, go to the half. I mean, they can run a play, see if it breaks, but
Maybe
I would
quick.
knee it. It looks, I don't know, the coordinator's on the field giving him a play call, so maybe he will run a play. We'll see.
They got DeFusco out there running, looking like maybe he's going to try and get a good playoff. Could be something to the sideline. We will find out. As he will go under center. As the ref stops his play to throw the tee off. As in my 3 days of kicking, I did forget to bring the tee off basically every time.
That's an issue.
That is an issue.
I formation, probably just going to run it here.
As they're going to have number 1, D'Andre Tolson, coming off the field and replaced by number 32, maybe just an illegal substitution.
A lot of substitutions going on for Central. The refs having to take guys out.
Devon Carradit coming on for the Knights to replace number 1. With 7 seconds left, we'll see if West just runs this out. Hiked by DeFusco, picked up across the middle, and now tackled at the 50-yard line is number 44, Miles Chung, who had that breakaway tackle, maybe trying to see if they had a little bit of magic left in him.
Same play that they ran that, they got that touchdown. Now for the viewers out there, they give everybody a little history lesson here.
All right, give it to us, Andrew.
Not on this exact field, okay? It was on this field, but they know they
the ground underneath it.
Yeah, when they still had the grass on the field here. Cranston West was here 2 years ago against Central, and Cranston West was up, believe it was either 14-0 or 21-7, almost the exact same score, and Central came back. West came out thinking they were going to win. They had a good lead. They let down their guard, and Central came back and beat them in this game. And Central was definitely, they were underdogs in that game. This game, it's flipped a little bit. West is down now 14. Central's going into the half with the lead. We'll see.
Yeah, and an unbelievable first half for those 3-headed monsters that we talked about for the Knights. They've seen them that's unstoppable so far. And for West, for me, it's going to have to be how are you going to be able to come out and get these stops with these amazing players for the Knights. Now, West, obviously getting the ball, we've talked about it a couple times, is going to have to come out here and really do something with the ball, give himself some momentum, because that hurts on all facets of the ball. The coaching staff to give up that big play. Now, not discrediting anything, unbelievable throw, unbelievable talent that we've seen from this kid at quarterback, and for me, it's going to just be how are you going to come out? How are you going to respond when you're down? This is a young team. You talked about the sophomores on here. This is a lot of adversity, a lot to ask for when you've got such a young team.
We're going to see if they got fight. We're going to see if they got fight. They can either put their heads down and say, hey, we put up a touchdown, we tried our best, or they could put their heads down and work. And we're going to see what happens in the second half. We're going to take a break here, I believe, for the halftime.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. But don't go anywhere. We've got 21-7 Central on top on the new field here at Conley Stadium. Got about just under 10 minutes left before the second half kicks off. I'm Bryce Antoch, once again with Andrew Granier. You're listening to SFBNRI on YouTube, and we'll see you in a few. And we are back here at Conley Field. The nighttime has certainly came in. The lights are out. We can see the stadium lights over at LaSalle. I don't know what Andrew's pointing to.
The view, the beautiful view. We can see a Providence from up here at the top of Conley
I was
Field.
getting to it. I was getting to it.
Well, you said I didn't know what I was pointing at. I mean, it's right there.
There's a big door next to you. Of course I can't tell what you're pointing at.
It's not my fault.
Either way, we're a minute here until the second half is kicking off. Coming off the food of Jordy Fernandez. Once again, we're going to see what he can do. He's had a couple nice boots, but West is going to have to figure themselves out a little bit. Had a couple good play calls, had a nice big play, but unless you don't get those big plays, how is West going to be able to come back in here?
Well, West is going to come back in this game just based off of running their offense. They can't go, into that type of scramble play. They can a little bit because they did have some success with that, but you have to run your base offense. You got to get your identity going. You can't be somebody else to win a game. You got to be yourself to win a game. So West has got to really hunker down, believe in their players, and for Central on the other side, for Central they've had a pretty solid game plan. I really don't see them switching much at halftime, other than maybe talking about that odd play that West was running. So.
And for those of you who do not know, Andrew and I, outside of SFBNRI, are very good friends. We went to high school together, actually at Cranston West, though we have no bias towards this game.
Absolutely not. I played football. Bryce played football for 3 days as a kicker.
I was a soccer player.
He was a soccer player.
But we are getting ready to go here, but we just want to appreciate both of our families that we know are watching, especially Mike Ritchie. We know he's a big supporter. He listens to everything we do. So thank you guys as we get ready to go for the second half. It looks beautiful. The skyline is pretty. I said it again.
Let's see West getting the return here. This is going to be huge to show what kind of team they're going to be. Are they going to come back and try to get some points, or are they going to put their heads down? We're going to see.
And the kick is picked up by Chung immediately as a helmet flies straight off of the head of a Knights player.
Looks like a garage sale out there.
Got that one for free this time.
Hey, you're not strapped up. You take a hit like that, that's what's going to happen.
Emmanuel Kai had the helmet come off. Going to have to fix it really quick as the West offense gets ready to set up here for the second half on their first play at the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. We can hear this team, the numbers a little bit down for West as opposed to last year. So many players leaving, as you mentioned, but making the most with what they have so far. And you can't discredit them. You can't discredit anything that this tremendously talented team has on the other side. 21-7 the lead is here on 1st and 10. DeFusco taking it out to the right side now is Chung, who gets picked up and tackled just about a couple yards in front of the line of scrimmage. That time it was Marcus, not Miles, who had a tremendous first half, but we have seen both Chung brothers play tremendous.
Yeah, Miles has a touchdown on that fullback run up the middle. Marcus, he's played just as well, just doesn't have a touchdown. I think they're going to use those two guys a lot in the second half. Little surprised Stetson's not really hitting stride right now. I don't know what that's about exactly. I don't know if he's maybe a little injured here or there. He's had some injury problems, but in the past, so we're going to see.
Stetson lined up in the back of the eye behind Miles Chung. As we see the younger brother Marcus out on the left side, handed off to Stetson. This time breaks a couple tackles, gets a nice gain on second down, and looks to get about a 3rd and short, looking 3 yards here for the Falcons.
Just to go back a little bit, what you said about the numbers, for both teams, I'm sure it's, a lot of it's COVID related. I know that there's a lot of players on both sides that usually play football that probably have opted out for this season. Hopefully, and that's not just for these two teams, it's all around the state. Some teams have even opted out this year as well.
As the handoff immediately goes to Chung up the middle, trying to pick up that first down. It might be 4th and short. Maybe he reached out.
I think he
got it. Fourth down, do you think they go for it here?
I think they're going to get a measurement here. I don't know. Let's see.
It looks
the
like
ref on the far side has his foot right there. We're going to see where they spot it.
Would you go for it on 4th down this early in the half?
I think you have to.
I believe so, too. Looks like, to me, he might be a little short, and that's what they're going to call it. 4th and inches. You've got DeFusco. Do you just have maybe a guy like Stetson go straight under center, QB sneak?
I think you either go a QB sneak here or you line up like you're in a QB sneak and maybe throw a pitch out to the left or right side.
And just to mention, that ball looks a little further back than we may have thought it was. Looks like a long half a yard here. QB sneak may not be an option. We'll see what they do. 2 backs behind him if he needs an extra push. As they do go quarterback sneak and pick it up. Tell you, we knew the play call was coming. It's almost an impossible thing to stop.
Hey, I give him credit. Great push from the center. That play does not happen if you don't have a great push from the center.
Absolutely, and it's exactly what they needed. They needed to get that first down. They needed to get a little confidence. It seemed like, we've had a couple minutes come off here in the first drive, but they've only had 3 plays. So it is what you wanted to do. No matter if it did take you 3 full plays to get down and over those 10 yards, it's first down now. It doesn't matter what happened before.
The thing is, though, time is of the essence. It's second half now. We don't have another half to go. So they're going to have to start getting their offense going and getting in gear.
And we have seen for Central Knights, it's either a 3 and out or it's been a touchdown. So pretty quickly, we're going to know for Central after this possession. But nonetheless, West has to score first. You focus on the defense after you get the offense. So these next couple of plays at the 45 on your own side, got to get across, get something going. This West team has been playing better as the game has gone on. We'll see how the stamina, how the fitness plays into this, as we know it is the first game of the season.
Also, something going on with the field with Central coach Rios. He's talking to the official. I think trainer Sue Socia is going across the field here. He may have an injury.
And you never want to see that.
It could be just someone needs to be stretched out. We don't know. We're going to see.
See a couple players down on that far sideline. Maybe even a coach clapping.
Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Without question, I was just about to mention, you never want to see it at any level, anybody get hurt. But once again, it is DeFusco here under center. 2 behind him, as usual. Passes it out to the left side. Low throw picked up by the young Marcus Chung, but then swallowed behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of a couple yards.
Yeah, when I talked earlier about 11 to the ball, that's as good as it gets right there for Central. There were just no blockers there for West. I don't know if it's exactly designed to be that way, but West has been throwing laterally. They have not been throwing vertically this whole game. They threw 1 pass down the field.
They had 2. They had the rollout by DeFusco on that right side that resulted in an eventual touchdown. Starting on the left hash this time, we do have another I formation coming up here for West. A couple out wide. The regular Marcus Chung out wide. Maybe looking to him is DeFusco. Sees him.
Deep ball.
Chung picked off by who else but Renato Mckay, going to the far side, picking up a block on his own side. Maybe a illegal block in the back as a flag comes out here. A couple flags down.
There are 2
kind of a blindsided hit as it is eventually Renato Mckay falling out of bounds. 2 flags now on the field, 1 on each side at the 30-yard line.
Believe they're both on Central. 2 blocking the backs, I believe.
No, I absolutely, they may both be that, but there are 2 flags on the field.
Well, doesn't matter. That doesn't change what's going to happen. It is an interception. That, like I said earlier, I really do think they should start having Matt throw the ball there. It didn't turn out well that time. I would start shorter and then, go towards deeper passes, get his confidence up. But maybe West feels like they need to get a touchdown now, and they try to hit the deep ball. Just didn't work out for him. Good play by number 8.
And to be honest with you, I'm not sure that was the guy you want to target. I don't think you want to challenge our player of the game, Renato Mckay. We've seen this dude unbelievable all game. And, maybe if you get a better matchup, I could see it. But we know his speed. We know his height. We know his athleticism. And for a young, smaller guy like Chung, you may not want to throw that ball up. But I will say these 2 guys have a heap of faith between DeFusco and Chung to each other, and they have a load of chemistry, as we've seen.
Oh, you have to, especially in this sport. In this sport and at this level, with 2 sophomores, starting the whole game for West, that shows the coaching staff what they, it just shows the talent that these 2 kids have. And it looks like they're backing them up. It's going to be, I believe it's the 20,
The 23-yard line.
23-yard line. So those two blocking the backs really affected that interception. But again, West needs to play defense here. Don't want to make that score 28-7.
That's a great point. It is currently 21-7 with about 9 and change left here in the third quarter as the Knights set up for their first drive of the second half. We've seen their last drive result in a touchdown on some tremendous throws off of the arm of Rodriguez. We'll see what else they've got in store for us, but right now it's going to be Lassiter handing it off out wide to Kai, who picks up a couple blocks and goes out wide all the way past anyone. He's got one man to beat. It's Chung as he stiff arms him, and it's going to be tackled here at the 15-yard line. Some great hustle play by the Falcons to make sure that it didn't go in the back of the end zone, but nonetheless a 70-yard pickup for who else but Kai for the Central Knights. He has been unstoppable alongside of Renato Mckay. Not much else you can do. They had the blocks, they had the momentum, they had the downhill running, it felt like.
Yeah, just not great tackling there. I mean, they had a shot at him, bring him down. It comes down to fundamentals with tackling. It really does. And they had a shot at him, a couple shots at him. We saw some great effort by Chung chasing him down. But West seems like they've been in this situation all game here in their own red zone, having to defend.
And the sophomore did a good job trying to get down the senior Kai on that one. The handoff to Lassiter again. Going out wide, he gives it to number 5 or 6, rather, one of his first times touching the ball tonight, as it is John Polanco for the Central Knights. Taking out to the left side, trying to spread the wealth around, maybe see if they can get him in the back of the end zone, this guy in the back of the end zone, as they have some of the utmost confidence on this offense, as you may see anywhere.
Well, you notice what you see with Central is they're not switching anything up, really. They're having their offense, and they're just running it how they want to run it. You see on the other side with West, they're trying some more smoke and mirror stuff. They're trying all types of different formations, trying to get their offense going. So you can see where the confidence lies with Central, where they're not changing anything, and West, where they're kind of scrambling to find something to get going on offense.
West with 3 linebackers out there right now, 4 on the line, and a couple DBs and safeties in there to see what they can do. As Lassiter goes out wide, trying to get tackled, and it will be tackled behind the line of scrimmage, by number 29. Who else but Stetson? And that is exactly what you need.
That is what you need, but we've seen West in this situation before. 2nd and long, 3rd and long, even I believe 4th and long they gave a pass, I believe, once. I'm not positive on that, but still, 3rd and long, 4th and long, 2nd and long, situations where they've given up the first down, and that just cannot happen defensively.
And going back a couple plays, that chase behind tackle, that great job that Chung did to prevent Kai to get in the end zone, really proving like his efforts may be rewarded here.
We don't know. Depending on the outcome of the game, that might be the play of the game. Who knows?
Absolutely. Nonetheless, highlight reel play. The throw here by Rodriguez over the top of the defender and through the hands of a Central Knight wide receiver. It was a good throw, maybe a little bit underthrown, but it was right there for him.
Gotta come down with that. You just gotta gotta come down with those catches. I believe
it was Renato,
McKay, wasn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely. And those aren't things we see McKay do. He had the interception, maybe even a tougher catch than this one, but I don't know if you can tell when he turned his head.
We can give him a break.
Yeah,
he's been doing great tonight. We can give him a little break on there, but that's the only one he gets. That's the only break he gets.
If he gets another one, he's cut, right?
Yep, he's off the team.
Key, off the team. Is they're going to go for a long field goal? We'll see if he's got it in his arsenal. This
you
looking
don't
like
see.
a
you don't see a lot in high school football.
36-yarder it's going to come out to.
I'm a little surprised.
Early in the season, you got to know what you have. If the Central Knights make the playoffs and you need a field goal at the end, can you hit it? He does not have the leg on it. Wide right and short. Although I will say, I think he could get the leg on it if he needed. We saw him in the pregame. He was booting him from what it looked like 35. The same thing with Maddie Alves. She also can hit from distance.
Well, that shows Central's got some confidence in their kicker. It didn't turn out well for them. That is a huge break for West, though, giving up that huge, it was a run play, actually. You would have thought it was a pass play all the way down the field. That is a huge break, a turnover on downs there with the missed field goal. What we're going to say this again all night until West gets it going. They need to get their offense going.
And
they
we
need
saw
chunk plays.
Absolutely need chunk plays for sure. And who are they going to come from? We know Stetson can do it. We know that Marcus and Miles, the brothers, can do it. And we know that DeFusco has an arm. It's just going to be, can these receivers get open? Because it's been difficult to throw over the top. We saw that one play earlier in the first half on a 3rd and long. There was almost a Hail Mary to the sideline caught by Marcus Chung. Can they now try and come up with something in the run game and maybe force these safeties to step up a little bit, force these linebackers to come up? We saw DeFusco. He's good on the run. He's got that little sidearm snap out there. Can they try and get some momentum and movement in the backfield and forcing the Knights to try and make a couple, changes?
Well, if I'm West right now, there's 6:28 left in this third quarter here. You still got a lot of time left. Don't just try to huck it down the field now, okay? We saw what happened. Didn't work so well. They tried it. Just run your offense here. Try to get some good running yards, get some good gains.
DeFusco handing it off to the older Chung, Miles Chung, as we're going to have to see. For me, the question is, did DeFusco have a short memory? Did he forget about that interception? Because you have to, no matter what your position is. If you're a goalkeeper and a ball goes in, you got to forget about it. Quarterback can throw an interception, you got to forget about it.
Yeah, you got to have short memory for sure. I don't know how much they're going to be throwing it here. We saw them test it out a little bit. I don't think that's going to be his defining factor for DeFusco. I don't think they're just going to let him throw that one interception and put him in the doghouse.
No, not even from that perspective, but rather for his own confidence.
No, yeah, for sure. I think he's going to go out there, and if they tell him to sling it, I think he's going to give it his all.
Absolutely, as we see Chung in motion, coming in front, picking up pace as he goes. The handoff on the inside to Stetson, looking to get something on 2nd and 7, but will be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and medium, we'd say, coming up.
Well, but if you notice, the whole game with West is their run game. They've had a couple here and there good runs, but for the most part, they've been 1-2 yard gains. You can't have that happen, and you can't expect to win a game doing that. They need, like I said before, we were just saying, they need those chunk plays. How are they going to get them? Who are they going to target? I look out for number 1 here, Marcus Chung. They've been using him a lot for those types of moving the stick plays.
Been one of those reliable guys you can always trust to come up with a big play.
Yeah, for sure. Central here, they're just going to have to play solid defense. I don't think they're worried at all. I think they got all the confidence in the world here.
Here goes DeFusco, rolling to his right, trying to find something open as the ball is tipped up in the air a couple times and falls to the ground off of the hands of Miles Chung, the senior. Unfortunate. I mean, you'd like to see him come up with that one. A little bit of traffic in front of him. I'm sure his vision was hindered a little bit.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough break on the Falcons not being able to get anything going there. But the only positive I would say out of that is they didn't use too much clock. They only used about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes of that clock. So that works out for them in their favor. But they got to get a good punt here.
Ted Shackelford giving it a nice boot, dropping inside the 50 and rolling over to the other side, getting a very friendly roll.
Great punt. Great punt with the roll there. I was about to say that could be really bad for West if Central gets, going on 50 going towards west side of the ball. They can make those big chunk plays, no problem. This backs them up a little bit more. Let's see if West can get some pass rush on them and make it. We've been looking for that first turnover of the game for West. We've already seen a couple on Central's side. Mckay getting that interception. I believe does he have 2 interceptions in this game?
Yeah, one interception so far. We did see a fumble early in the game by Rodriguez that he quickly jumped on as it was snapped behind him. But it was about a 35-yard punt. Gets them out of some really difficult field trouble. The Central Knights will start at their 37-yard line. And we know there are threats all over the field for this team. Rodriguez at quarterback, looking around to every single person he's got between Renato, between Lassiter, as he scans the field and fires one over the middle to Lassiter again. As the ref falls, West defender falls, and it's off the hands of Lassiter, and he had him all beat.
The ref still made the call. He fell down. He still said it was incomplete.
I'll tell you
Good
that
job.
that's above his pay grade for sure. I don't think.
Yeah, that's why they make their money. And we
Well
got an
done.
injured player. It looks for Central.
It might be Lassiter out there, to be honest with you. I think a defender may have fallen on the back of his heel, and we hope he's okay. The player's taking a knee on both sides. Great sign of respect, as you love to see. And
West is going to go to their sideline now and take a knee. Have their defensive coordinator, Rob Malo. He did a terrific job last year with Cranston West. I mean, I can't say enough about him. He should be a head coach somewhere, I got to say. No bias on that, but he is a great coach. He really is. Also on the other side for Central, you got Coach Rios, real respected coach in the RIL, and also Charlie Holiday over there too. So both really good coaching staffs. I got to say, my hats are off to both of these teams and their coaching staffs.
absolutely, as you just mentioned, and two sidelines that have played each other a good amount in the past few years. We've seen some battles on both sides.
Yeah, this will be the 5th game in 3 years that these teams have played, playoffs, regular season. These teams know each other very well.
A couple of which you were a part of.
I did. We lost to them once in regular season. We beat them 3 straight times. So I can't say who I'm rooting for, but
Are you rooting for somebody? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying maybe this is Central's chance to get a little bit back at us.
Yeah, get a couple of jabs back. They surely have the upper hand as dropping back as Rodriguez looking to fire again. A couple defenders in the area for West, almost picked off by Chung.
Almost had that turnover we were looking for.
He was spotting the ball. He was ready to high point it, but a defensive effort that time by Renato Mckay. As we know, he is a safety as well, or cornerback, and he can do it all.
Their safety, for most part, your safety is a guy you trust the most on defense, so you can play in your backfield. You know, I don't think we need to keep telling you about how much their coaching staff believes in this guy. He is a playmaker through and through, offensively, defensively, special teams. He makes plays all around the field. So him roaming on defense, he makes the calls on defense. He had an interception a little earlier. All-around talent, really, really tremendous player.
And we wish the best of luck for him. As we've seen a couple players go down to injury, we hope everybody else on this field stays safe as Rodriguez drops back, looking to find his ace in the hole in the middle of the field, but he can't get the ball to him and is tackled behind the line of scrimmage for 4th down. I don't know if you saw it, but Renato Mckay had some space right at about the top of the C.
Yeah, the thing that's really weird about this game is it seems like West is doing a really good job of sacking the quarterback, but the score is still 21-7. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But West is just not making those plays on 3rd and long. So Central keeps on moving the ball down the field. I think West has had maybe 4 sacks today, which is just a crazy amount for the score.
You know, it's a great point that you just brought up about the sacks, but for me, it's just going to be that the speed on the edge, sometimes you don't have an opportunity to get in the backfield. If these guys are running past you too quick, there's not much you can do. As we do see the punt here for the Knights, almost blocked, and it's not a very great punt, you know, one that gets you out of trouble with pressure in your face, gets you across the 50 and a little bit of breathing room.
Yep, well, look, I think it shows Central's confidence in their whole offense on that last drive. They just threw the ball. They were just letting him go out there and throw it. He almost threw a pick. They didn't care. They let him throw it again. So that might come back to bite him in the end, depending on what West does right here. We're going to see. You can't let up. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about high school football, really football in general. You can't let up. When you got to score, you got to keep on scoring because anything can switch the momentum and a team can come back and win a game.
It's kind of
I know I've been a part of a lot of those games where my team's been up and we've had teams come back and beat us. It's not a good feeling.
No, it is not. As we've got under center, this time was, instead of DeFusco, we had Stetson. You know, it's one of the two always, but just to mention, go back to that about being up and, you know, you don't want to give up the lead. it's kind of a vulgar thing, but they say you got to like step on the neck when you can. Really go for the kill shot. But I mean, at this point,
put the nail in the coffin. Whatever you got to say.
Exactly, whatever you prefer. But nonetheless, it's been a good game on both sides of the ball for the most part from Central. I mean, besides that one play, you got to say Central has played, better for the most part. Obviously, we know they're more experienced, so we know this West team is obviously without their starting quarterback. But DeFusco has not played poorly as well, stepping into the role and filling it as he's under center once again. Stetson on his left. Couple players outride. As we know, Chung is always there for him. As DeFusco looks to take it this time, the quarterback keeps it, but there's the 11 men going after the ball that you've mentioned a couple times here before.
Yeah, just no solid blocking up front for the Falcons. They're not getting any push, really. A lot of these plays, they're just stuck in the backfield, and it's a shame because West has a lot of talent where they could get out on the edges. I just don't know why they're not using that. You see Central using their speed to their advantage, using their plays, using on the edges. Look at the score. It's 21-7 because of that. West is still trying to run up the middle, which I think is not a great idea for them right now in this game. I think they got to use their speed to the edges here.
That's a great point. That is something that we're going to have to watch out for. We'll see if they pick up on it. DeFusco faking the handoff, rolling out to the right. He's got a man short, and it's Chung, the defender, going over the top of him, picking up the first down on third down, which you desperately needed in order to keep the chains moving.
Yeah, it almost looked like a carbon copy of that earlier play.
Great point. It may have been a very similar play design, but this time the defender for Central looked like he tried to go over the top and kind of Megatron it a little bit, but got caught, and that's something you can't do. Those little mistakes are ones that make a game like this a little bit tighter. I mean, we're coming down to the end of the third quarter here, a minute and 20 seconds left. The West has just gotten over half, 48-yard line, 1st and 10.
Well, Central's defense right now, they're playing, almost like the Patriots. They're bend but don't break defense. They give up a lot, but they make the plays when they count.
And just a quick update, Lassiter on the other side. We see him jogging. We see him moving. As the handoff goes to Stetson for a good gain of about 3 or 4. You just got to keep the ball moving.
You have to.
You can't be taking any.
But as we look, it's still 21-7. We haven't had a score change yet, but it's 47 seconds now and counting till we get the fourth quarter. Not a lot of time left, not a lot of game left, so this is a huge possession for West. They need points here.
And they do need them bad. This is about the point where they about to spot the right hash, where we saw Miles get his touchdown for the Falcons. About the same yard line. We'll see if they can do it again. We see the young brother, Marcus Chung, at the bottom. DeFusco motioning him to step back a little bit as he motions him in front. He's got the speed on the outside. He may look to him, fakes it, as the rush goes into the hands of Stetson for a solid gain of about 6, getting it to 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2.
Yeah, he was that close to breaking it. A little bit of a shoelace tackle there. Hey, any way you get it done, you get it done.
I know, it was almost, as you said, the carbon copy of what we almost just saw, but bringing us to the end of the third quarter. We have a score of 21-7. Central is ahead of Cranston West Falcons. Andrew, what are we going to have to see on this drive? You've got a 3rd and short. Obviously, at this point in the game, you're on 4-down territory, especially at this part in the field, the opponent's 40-yard line. You've got to come away with points. What is going on in this West huddle right now?
Well, what's going on here is they're telling them to really buy into the play calling. We need our players to make plays. That's what they're saying right now. They're not telling them, anything, trying to really get them all hyped up going in. They just need to do their job. I know it's as cliche as it gets in football, but you need to do your job. That's what it comes down to here. They're at midfield, a little bit beyond midfield. This is where they need to get points. So I know I said we, but it's just so I'm so used to it. But Falcons need points here. They really do. Central, they've done a great job of playing defense in their end of the field. So we're going to see how they play.
The short yardage situations, the 4th and shorts, we have seen Central come up big twice tonight so far. It is a 3rd and 2 for the Falcons, as it's Stetson looking to get the handoff to Fusco, running up the sideline right now. faking the handoff to the outside. It's going to be a first down and then some for Stetson, just what you needed, what the doctor came up with.
Yeah, good play there. They move the sticks. That's something they haven't been doing a lot on those short yardage positions, like you mentioned before. Central coming up, making a lot of plays. We do have a Knight down again. Looks like it might be a lineman.
And we can't make out who that is, but I will just mention quickly, we noticed before Dimitri LeBlanc had an opportunity earlier. He ran the ball on the outside. He didn't get much, but we mentioned that may come back at some point in this game, and there it was. We saw the fake handoff from Stetson to LeBlanc, and this time it proved to be successful, and that they were able to trick the defense a little bit. The defense probably recognized it may have been the same play, but instead this time they pulled it out. As we hope he is okay down there, though. We have seen a lot of Knights go down so far.
Yeah, that could, even though today was a nice day out, even though it's weird, right? We're playing high school football in March, almost April now. We got some cooler days. A lot of players don't drink a ton of water because it's cold out, but you still sweat the same amount. So a lot of people, they don't drink all that water. They cramp up a lot.
I've got some nice drink water notifications coming up.
Well, there you go. If you have notifications to drink water, then
I do.
I gotta say, I don't know about that. I don't think I have one on my phone that says to drink water.
But nonetheless, it was
maybe one to say drink Coke. I don't know. It doesn't say drink water on mine.
Number 63, Michael Torre, hopping off looking like a possible ankle or knee injury. We hope that they can figure it out and that maybe he could come back soon, maybe even in this game. We've seen Lassiter. We've seen him. Well, it's gonna be a long day tomorrow for some of these guys. But
yeah.
You know what? It takes everybody to win a football game, and you're up 21-7. But it's the next man up. Who's gonna step up now that he's out?
We're gonna see. We're gonna find out. We're gonna see if he makes an impression. This is where your guys. This is where players are made.
Stetson motioning Chung, handing it off to him on the left side. Tackle that just about the 34-yard line.
Yeah, just not having good vision there.
By the captain, Jensen Martinez Pizarro, the tight end and defensive end, the senior as well.
He had the play there. He had the whole, I don't know what happened. He stopped running, and look, that was a good opportunity to get some yardage on there, and they got about a half a yard. That's what can't happen. Right now, it's not Central so much playing great defense. It's West just really shooting themselves in the foot right now.
It's a great point, and we have DeFusco with Stetson behind him. A couple of wideouts now in motion. As always tonight, it has been number 1, Chung. The fake handed off this time to Stetson for a gain of about 7 or 8.
Here's another one of those situations.
A manageable third down. I mean, how many times have we seen it tonight? Third and short inside of 2-3 yards.
Yeah, well, we got about, looks like 4 yards here. Maybe, yeah, about 4 yards.
Third and 4 coming up for the Falcons.
So it's manageable, but it's not so close that people think. 4 yards is still a pretty good distance.
We're coming up on about 10 minutes coming up after this play. West has got to start thinking about maybe taking a shot. If you get a first down here, maybe on that first play you might want to take a shot to the end zone. DeFusco handing it off. Got us open on the left side is Stetson. Shakes the defender, gets inside the 10, the 5, the 3-yard line. Stetson showing off his incredible footwork.
He's going to be down at, looks like the 2, maybe the 2.5-yard line here.
Forget about the big play next time. They're going to get it right now.
Yeah, well, that's what they were looking for the whole game. Stetson has been quiet the whole game. You know, he's going to be their workhorse this year. West losing their quarterback Cam Alves last year. So Stetson and Cam Alves made a great pairing. Now it's going to be a lot of Stetson this year.
DeFusco maybe looking to give it back. The line is stacked up. Handing it to him once again. And in for the touchdown is Stetson, capping off an incredible run that maybe he thought he should have finished off last time, but now getting it to make it a 1-possession score. We knew the drive had to come. A nice 5-minute drive for this West offense. Really ate up some clock, but it's what you got to do if you're really going to make a good effort to come back in this game. Give the defense all the rest, and now the pressure's on this Central offense. You've had a couple struggles last time you're out here, so.
What I said before half, you got to come out with the lead. For a team to come out with a lead, you got to keep, putting your foot on the gas. You can't let up. I think Central let up a lot. I really do. Some of their offensive drives, they were just throwing it. All 3-4 plays, they were just throwing it, which, you know, they have confidence in their quarterback, and that's great. But those also turned into turnovers on downs, some punts. Now it's a one-possession game for West. You know, let's see what Central does offensively. Let's see how they answer back. Are they going to go back to their base offense, or are they going to let their quarterback throw it all over the field again? We're going to see.
Matty Alves, we saw an issue on the time before the last extra point, as once again the snap goes over the head of DeFusco and picked up by the Central Knights. This is not the NFL, and you cannot run it back. The play is blown dead.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We knew, as we just said about 30 seconds ago, that they had an issue on the snap before the penalty saved them last time. But this time, there isn't anything. It is, I mean, look, 2-point conversion is all you need in order to tie it back up. And
hey, the big thing is they got the touchdown.
That's right.
They
you
got
did
the
what
points,
you needed.
So it's, you know, you can make up with a 2-point conversion. I'm almost 100% sure if West does get another touchdown, they're going to go for it to tie the game up. But we got to get there first. We got to get there first.
Absolutely. And now it's going to come down to the West defense versus, I mean, the matchup all night is this West defense versus Central's offense. High-powered.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a great finish.
Without question, just under 10 left, 21-13 here in the fourth quarter at Conley Stadium. Once again, I am Bryce Antoch here with Andrew Grenier at SFBN RI is what you are listening to. And we are in for a show. Matty Alves with the wind coming against her. Not too crazy, maybe about 5 miles an hour. I'm sure we feel it up here at the top of the stadium more than they may feel on the field.
Looking at the flagpole, it's not too bad right now.
Either way, she looks ready to go. Takes a few steps back. This team is ready to go. Kicks it just about to the 25-yard line, as it's going to be Kai trying to get a couple blocks, gets them, but tackled by a few West players to make sure he doesn't go too far, and a flag coming in may be against the Falcons.
Yeah, I think it might be a face mask. I'm not sure. It looked like he tackled him a little high around the helmet.
I agree.
Tackling high around the helmet is not a penalty, but it could have looked like he got a face mask. I'm going to see. A lot of refs do just throw the penalty anyways. With that call, I'm almost positive it's going to be a face mask.
And this may be disastrous for West. This is not what you need. Horse collar or a face mask. Okay, yep, face mask. And it is going to be an added 15 yards.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just, it's something you got to work through it. It's adversity right here for West. They gave up a penalty they didn't need to give up. Wasn't the best kick. Wasn't the best kickoff. So, hey, you gotta strap up and go play defense. That's what it comes down to right now.
First and 10.
Central, I think Central's really going to try to run the clock a little bit, run their offense, how they used to run it.
And now you're in a position. Even if you go 3 and out here, let's say you get backed up a few yards after a couple plays, a nice punt. We've seen the punter do very well tonight. A punt inside the 20, inside the 10. That was not a bad spot either, as we see Rodriguez under center, handing it off to Kai, who gets a nice hole. Splits the safeties, a stiff arm, and down goes the West defenders as Kai into the end zone for another one tonight. And just like that, we are back to a 2-possession game. You can't ask for much more from this kid. He has been unbelievable tonight. Emmanuel Kai, the running back, senior for the Knights.
Yeah, just once again, just really bad tackling. They had a couple shots at him. That's what it comes down to. Yes, he got through the line. The defensive line didn't do a great job of holding their gaps. They got blown off the ball there. So then it comes to linebackers. Linebackers didn't do a great job. Just, not good defense all around right there. So, again, we try to look at the positives at everything. The only positive, that play didn't take a lot of time. So there's still almost 10 minutes left.
As the kick is blocked, but a couple of players offside, it looks, jumped a little early for West.
Got a lot of jumpy special teams players today.
I know maybe it's just this side. I mean, it's really only been over here we saw it coming out.
It looks like a full moon.
Yeah, full moon.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe that's why it is.
That's a great point. The moon is out. Could be something.
I think that's full. What is it, 3/4?
I mean,
full?
it's like 8/9. I don't know what that math is, but
I don't know. I don't do math.
Definitely not 1/16. I'll be honest with you.
I don't do math, so something like that.
Rodriguez holding.
Math is not my major.
As the kick is coming, it is up, and it looks to be no good. Missed it wide right.
Oh, that works out for West in their favor. They missed the extra point. Now Central's missed an extra point, so it comes down to what I believe it's a 14-point game even, so 2 touchdowns. They don't need to go for 2 now if they were to tie up the score.
Mora Corte missing that one. 3 for 4 now on the night. For the Knights, after the touchdowns, he had a missed field goal earlier, 0 for 1. You know, we talked about it, but we really don't see a lot of field goals coming out of high school anymore.
No, we really don't. And tonight, they've all went for, their extra points. Again, that shows their belief in their kickers, the coaching staff. I know for a fact West really believes in Madison Alves and her ability to kick the football. I don't know even more, Central has a great respect for their kicker because they tried a regular field goal with them, and it was a pretty deep one too, and they let him go kick it.
As you see down there, a bunch of the players talking to Maddie right now. But the kick is up and picked up by the Falcons. Ran across the 30, running into his own defender, but maybe working out for him as he slips through a couple of players to the 40-yard line. It's a great return, but we do have a flag coming thrown at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, almost always when you got a penalty come from the back, it's usually on the return team. So expecting West to back up a little bit here.
Blocking the back. On the Falcons, it is great call by Andrew. He'll see it before anyone else.
What are you looking at your watch for? Another alarm to drink water?
You know what? I've missed a couple. Every 35 minutes it goes off.
You don't even have water on you right now.
It's in the car. Don't worry about it. But either way, the Falcons now with a taller task. Instead of starting at the 40, it's about 10 yards back from where the foul happened, resulting in a 1st and 10 at the own 21 of Cranston West, having to go 80 yards here. And it will start off with a handoff to Chung, but rattled and wrapped up by a plethora of these Central Knights defenders. And the wind's picking up a little bit here, blowing my hair around. But I could still see that play was going nowhere.
Yeah, that's just not going to get it done for West. That play, it's just, I don't know. If I were West, you're down 2 touchdowns here. You got to do something a little different now, get the ball moving. This is where you got to get out of your base offense a little bit. Do more little spread. Right there, they were in I formation. Here, they're a little more spread out.
Look, you've got one safety out there. You've got Chung one-on-one. Maybe you throw it.
Big hole.
Oh, big hole this time.
Could drive a Mack truck through there.
Thank you for that one, Andrew. As Stetson looking for the flag on a face mask or a horse collar is that west sideline, but they're not going to get it. A great run, had a hole. The design was good. They noticed one safety high stacked up on the line, ran it outside, and some great blocking downfield by West's wide receivers, especially Chung, as we've seen so many times tonight, be effective as he lines up on the far side now.
Yeah, you can't look for the penalty there. You just got to get to the line, keep playing. You can't bank on the refs giving you the game here.
Absolutely, and Stetson looking to get it across the 40, and he will be stopped right at the 40, where we thought the drive may start for the Falcons, but eventually they get it back there, one play at a time, nearing just now under 8 minutes.
Yeah, I would think West is going to go in a little bit of a hurry up here. I know they're still getting plays from the sideline. I think really, after this play, if it's a decent game, they got to start getting back up to the ball because you're losing time here.
That's a great point, and we're going to see how this hurry-up offense goes for West if they do it, or when they do it, rather. DeFusco, you got to make sure you give him a good play call. He still is only a sophomore.
Oh,
as he laterals it back to DeFusco, the trick play that wasn't and then was again. Not sure what that was, but a quick heads-up play. DeFusco did not know it was coming, then all of a sudden saw the ball coming his way, grabbed it, and took off with it.
That was a look what I found. That's what that was right there.
I don't know if that was a fumble or if that was an intentional lateral. Either way, it worked out. You're across the 50 to the 46-yard line. Looked like he was going to be bottled up. And I will say, that's a great job once again, winning the front battle, Arthur Central Knights, and
Central's really dominating the line of scrimmage here. It's just going to come down to West being able to get to the edges. They got to the edge there, not trying to, but
Defusco having number 31 open was Nicholas Castriata. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm learning some of these guys. I
know.
I graduated a few years ago.
I know.
Not
I'm
too
just
many,
trying
but
to
just a
correct
couple.
you. That's
Just a
all.
couple.
I'm just trying to.
Tell them I'm sorry.
I will. I'll text them later on tonight.
That's okay.
But yeah, they brought looked like either a corner or safety blitz there, something the line wasn't accounting for. And my hat's off to whoever made that call on Central. They saw West maybe was going to throw the ball here. They got a sack.
I'll tell you, Nicholas is going to be seeing that one in his dreams. He was wide open, looking to get open again, looking to find a
Pass
man
interference right there.
At the 30-yard line. Defusco was looking for his man Chung at the top. Almost had his defender beat, but you get the penalty, and it is one step closer. It is what you need. At that point, it was going to be 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 or so, but maybe bailed out, whatever you want to say. The throw wasn't entirely in the vicinity of where he was going, but.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say.
Now, say what you want to say. Go ahead.
Hold on. I'm trying to see what's going on here. The refs have the ball back to the 50. I believe it was pass interference.
As some confusion, even the marker for the down, the man who's holding it, appeared to walk past the first down. And
they're spotting. Okay, yep, they're just making sure they get the right yardage. Because it's a 15-yard penalty in college and high school. It's not in the NFL where it's a spot foul.
Yep. Great point. Thank you for that one, Andrew. As it will now still be 2nd down and 1. But this just opens the playbook up. I mean, of course you like to get the first down, but you can take a shot here and still get a chance at the first down.
Out of this formation, they run it to Stetson to the left, and they pass it a lot. So
and there it is, Stetson to the left, getting a hole in the middle, picking up a block on the outside, across the 30, now at the 20, and dropped down at the 19-yard line by number 1, Lisandro Arden, the senior.
Here comes our player for the game for West. He's starting to come alive now. This is when he needs to come alive. So that's great for the Falcons that he's starting to get the ball, making some plays here. But 6:01 left. There's still not a lot of time.
6 minutes left, but you just got to get a score. As long as you get a score, you got to wear one play at a time. Don't think about getting that second one. Stetson making a nice move to cut inside, but only picking up 5 on the play. Looks like he would have been stopped at the line of scrimmage if he didn't make that quick little cut to the left side.
Yeah, well, I would say right now, I mean, West is in a really good position. They're on the 15-yard line. 5 minutes left. I wouldn't be rushing if I was them. Take your time. Get the right play call in. Don't know what's going on here. I don't know if there's a timeout.
A down player for
like
Central.
Another injury, man.
And
Central's just got the injury bug tonight.
It's going to start hurting them. Hopefully, once again, these players that have already been downed are going to be okay. As we see Lassiter in the game, so that's a great sign knowing he went out earlier with that ankle problem. We saw him hobbling on the sideline, but then slowly after some recovery and some work with the trainer, he's back out there. As he is still laying on the floor, the trainer, it's been a busy night for her too. The referee's even trying to stay a little loose, checking on the players, making sure he's okay.
Yeah, Sue Sosha really doing a great job out there. She's got a lot of rushing yards tonight.
She may be the leading rusher.
She might be. She's going across the field, 53 and a half, or a quarter all the way around. You come back and forth. She's getting her workout tonight.
But the captain, Stetson, clearly the leading rusher for West. And we know Kai for Central has had a phenomenal game, and so has the player of the game, Renato Mckay. And it's weird. We almost forget about Renato's incredible first half. I mean, it seemed like every time something was happening, it was coming at his fingertips. And even in the second half, he made that interception.
Yeah, well, Central's ability to pass the ball really affected, I think, Mckay, because he's like the guy they just run to. He's not a guy they pass to a ton. Mm-hmm. He's a running back, kind of like a wildcat quarterback type thing. So, that's why he didn't have a big half really offensively, because they were running kind of, whatever they wanted on offense. They weren't really running their offense with a purpose as much. They were kind of just feeling it out. And, hey, it might show up. West get the touchdown here. Central gets the ball back. Maybe they give him the ball and to close it out. We're going to see what happens.
As Lassiter is staying back for the Knights, and in front of him are his linebackers. He's got Jensen Martinez in front of him. You can hear them talking. Stetson handing it off on the right side to one of the Chung brothers. This time it is Miles.
Yeah, again, that play just not working for him sometimes. They've been running that play constantly with Stetson and Miles. You know, I think you got to change it up here a little bit.
You know, it's a good point. 3rd down and long, you almost have no choice. But maybe we've seen the rollout be effective for that right side.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing
right.
is,
there's a lot of wide, you know, there's a lot of space all the way to the right here.
And the thing is, too, you've got 2 downs to get it. So you don't have to go for all of them here. If you put yourself in position, maybe try and get 4 or 5 back, then the playbook's right where you were a second ago, wide open.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I can speak for everybody here. Everybody thinks that they're going for it no matter what here. So I doubt they're going to attempt a field goal. So you got to, as a play caller, you got to make this play call like you have 2 downs still. You know, most play callers, they think, okay, it's 3rd down, we got 1 play. Right now for West, offensive coordinator Rich Atchison, he has to just say, okay, we're going to run a 3rd down play so we can set up a 4th down play. That's how you're going to run this play here, and we'll see what they're going to do. I expect them to run it. They might surprise me.
As you can check the wind starting to pick up. You're looking at the flag over there in the corner.
Yeah, we'll be throwing against the wind here,
so
looks like.
Something to note as we move forward into this play, knowing that we could likely see a pass almost as much as a run here. But
yeah,
the issues...
Both teams have surprised me a little bit with how much they've been passing. You don't see a ton of passing in high school football. So, like I said again, West might surprise me here and go with a pass.
Big to see DeFusco standing in shotgun here with his main man, Stetson, on his right. Staying back, and he's got him open. Stetson going up, the jump ball is knocked incomplete. Once again, he had Nicholas Castriota. Did I say it correctly that time? Either way.
Was that Castriota? I thought that
was that was Stetson, but he had Castriota, running
yeah.
the seam, running the straight vertical route in the back of the end zone once again. That play has been open tonight multiple times. I'm sure Castriota is going to really wish and look at the film tomorrow that he seen rather. But
good play
you know what?
They're just not a great pass.
For me, I totally understand Matthew trusting his main guy, because you're in a position, your back's against the wall, 4.5 left, and it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 for your team, and most of the time you're going to give it to your best player.
Yeah, and you can see just Matt's youth really here. You know, it wasn't a great pass. I'm not saying that's his youth. You can have a bad pass no matter how old you are in high school football. But he had to come back to his offensive coordinator, ask him again what the play is. So, you know, I'm sure he's got the nerves right now. But it's, let's see what's going on here.
He must have called a penalty that we missed. A roughing the passer, I believe they called against Central.
That helps
we didn't
out.
see them call that one, but
I did not see that.
And the PA announcer did not either. So, quick, DeFusco handing it off to Stetson. A couple of shifty razzle-dazzle moves inside of the 10-yard line. And maybe stripped to the ball, as it's going to be ripped away by Central's number 3, Emmanuel Kai. Who else but him for this game? I mean, you can't ask for anything else. We know we talked about Renato Mckay being the player of the game, but for me, it's got to be Emmanuel. He has been unbelievable on both sides of the ball. The referee's talking to see if maybe he was down, but
I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure he stripped it away from him. If it does end up staying a fumble, that's a tough break for West. Just getting a penalty.
Looks like they're going to give
ball's going back to West.
The ball back to West.
It's going to be a fumble. Central ball.
Here's some complaints.
You can hear the ref saying it's a fumble on the field. Just to clarify that.
Either way, you've got to credit Kai for that one, because he was relentless going to the ball, and they teach you got to go after the ball when you're young, and as you get older, especially. So, heads-up play by him. He was ready. Nonetheless, I'm sure he'll check out the film and make a judgment for himself. But
yeah, I'm almost positive number 29 for the Falcons, Stetson, captain. He's, you know.
Oh, they did end up handing it as is. Kai, who else but him? They did end up giving the ball to Central.
Yeah, they did. Yes, it was a fumble.
I mean, he's got to be nearing a couple hundred yards on the game so far.
Yeah, he's had him and McKay have been doing really wonders in the backfield tonight.
I don't even want to see the numbers on the ground for this team. Actually, I do, but
well, I know for a fact West's defensive coordinator, he's going to be sick watching those numbers. It's just not how, and gotta give him credit. It's still it's a relatively
another flag on the field.
game.
Looks like it's going to be a holding against the Knights. So they're going to get backed up once again, negating a big-time run. We've seen a couple big runs. That 65-yard touchdown run we saw earlier in the game. We've seen this one, and we've seen another one. Can't think off the top of my head, but I do remember that this Knight team has had a lot of penalties tonight.
Yeah, West has definitely won the penalty battle. I mean, not having a lot at all. I think they had a face mask, maybe one other one here and there. Central just really surprised they had this many penalties.
The handoff from Rodriguez to Kai once again. Who else are you going to hand it to on first down as he brings it about 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, if I'm a defensive player, I'm just keying in on him. I don't think I'm looking at anybody else.
And it will be a 2nd and short after a 5-yard run just because of where the penalty took place. It was a 10-yard backup from the spot of the foul. So it gave him about a 1st and 8, 1st and 7. Now it'll be 2nd and 3 for the Knights, who are just looking to try and run out this clock. 3:45 left on here. 27-13. The Knights in control with the ball at their own 16-yard line. Looking to close this one out. Rodriguez handing it off, trying to get tackled in the backfield is number 8, who we've seen all night, Renato Mckay, who takes a big hit but gives one at the same time. You can see he's fired up. This team is fired up, and they are going to try and close this game out. They moved the chains. It was 2nd and short, but now it's going to be 1st and 10 at about the 35-yard line. 25-yard line.
The 25-yard line. That's a new one.
Hey, you know what? A couple people standing. I was looking the wrong direction. Give me a break. I'm a soccer player.
Oh, trust me. I know you're a soccer player.
But either way, the Knights coming back out here. Rodriguez had one heck of a game. Has thrown some absolute drops inside the breadbasket. Some dimes. I remember that segment on ESPN, Dilfer Dimes. Remember that back in the day?
I don't think so. I mean, how far back you going? I'm not that old.
Talking about 4 or 5 years or so.
Well, you said back in the day. You're acting like it's from the 80s or something.
Back in our day.
Trent Dilfer. Yeah,
Trent Dilfer,
yeah,
come
okay.
on.
Yeah.
So you know the guy,
but
but
that won a Super Bowl. That's right. Yeah.
okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
You had to let that one out, huh? Oh.
Well, it's safe to say here that it looks like Central's going to win this game. It's not, a for sure thing. Anything can happen.
Seen crazier things, man.
Yes. Crazy things happen all the time. But just the way Central, McKay, and number 3, what's number 3's name? I keep forgetting.
Kai?
Those guys, Kai and McKay, those guys have had a day. And looking the way they're running the ball, Weston played great defense. Their offense isn't going that great. West has just got to try to get the ball back, make it respectable. But overall, it was a really good game, I would say, both sides. Even though it's a 2-touchdown difference, not even looking at the score, I would say just watching the game, it was a competitive game.
That has been. But these guys for Central are going to be a problem. And you're going to have to stop them. If you got somebody that's quick, look out the rest of Division I football, because this team is coming. And they are hungry after a couple playoff defeats in the last few years. As the handoff is given once again to Kai, who gets it from a 2nd and 14, now gets it to about a 3rd and 7. A nice gain of about 7 on that one.
They had fantasy. I'd have those two guys for high school football.
I know you would, but
I was a West player. I'm picking those guys for fantasy. I don't care. Those guys are animals.
I'll tell you, you might win the league too. You'd at least win your matchup this week. That's without saying.
Guys got a lot of talent on that side, and you know what? They've had these players for a couple of years, and that's why they've been so successful too, going deep in the playoffs.
I'll tell you, I'll take Stetson on my team though. I don't know about you.
Oh no, Stetson, he's an absolute animal. Like the two players of the games, we knew they were gonna play, and they both did exceptionally well.
As Kai breaks a few tackles, breaking a couple more, carrying defenders 5'10", 15 yards, getting across to 50. And, I mean, he is just the stronger, the bigger, the faster guy out here tonight. He has just been a different breed.
You notice when he makes contact with another player,
he gets
never
stronger.
stops his feet. He's got high knees working. He is pounding the ball. And really, I think he's really coming after McKay right now for the best player on this team. He is playing lights out.
He definitely might be, and we know for sure that both of them are going to be an issue, especially with the arm of Rodriguez. We know with him, he can get you back in any game at any time. All it takes is one throw, and especially off the hands of Demir Lassiter. We know he is a quick guy. I mean, everywhere you look, this team's got a weapon on offense. It's just the defense that may be a problem for them moving forward, but I'm sure they can tighten that up as the fitness and everything gets higher. As once again, the handoff is to the stud Renato Mckay. Once again, he's just showing you his quickness too on that, getting a nice gain of about 7 to put them inside of the 40-yard line. Just under a minute to go. Looking to run this clock out, 27-13, Central Knights over the Cranston West Falcons.
I know you want to keep on saying the Golden Knights because really that should be their name. Look at them. They're in all yellow tonight.
I do keep wanting to say, like the Vegas Golden Knights. I keep thinking it.
They're in all yellow tonight. I mean, they should be just called the Golden Knights.
Especially as you mentioned,
jerseys.
the new uniforms. But not much else you can say. Under 30 seconds. Looking to kneel this one out. Going to be a 1-0 start for the Central Knights as they're going to let time expire. A 2-touchdown victory in the opener here at Conley Stadium. The first time they've played a meaningful game for their football team on this new turf, which I'm sure they loved in the new uniforms, and there's not much else you can ask for. Great game to start off the season. You can see them celebrating. Andrew, what was the difference tonight?
First, I just want to say, if you can notice looking at the field, I know cameraman might be pointing there, but Stetson was still on the field, and a lot of the players on Central came and just gave him a hug and a high five. They know talent. They respect talent. And even though West didn't come up victorious with this win tonight, they understand that Stetson is a hell of a player, and they really gave him credit. And that's, you love to see that in any sport, recognition.
That's a great point, and to look forward to these two teams playing again and moving forward. The final score here at Conley Stadium at Mount Pleasant High School, even though this is where Central predominantly plays their games, 27-13. Central take it, not the Golden Knights, but the regular Knights over the Falcons. I'm Bryce Santoch here with Andrew, and we've got a tremendous crew tonight that we had, and I'm sorry I forgot to mention both of you. Alyssa, I'm sorry? Oh, I don't know what he said. I thought he said something to me.
He said Tyler.
Oh,
His name's Tyler.
I didn't know. I thought he was saying something else. Tyler,